Hey, what is going on, guys? This is Tigo.
This is John.
And I'm not going to officially call this an episode of the Level 1 Sidekicks podcast.
I'd say it's like a 0.5, like 7.5 leading up to episode 8.
Yeah, I guess. So kind of just to give you guys a real brief rundown, we still wanted to have your guys' regular scheduled programming when it comes to podcasts coming out on Wednesday. But the problem is E3 is happening this week.
Yeah, E3 is still currently happening. We're recording it. We're reviewing all the contents that we want to discuss, what we don't want to discuss. So it's going to be pushed back a little bit, but we still wanted to release a Wednesday episode.
Exactly. So we still wanted to give you something to listen to on Wednesday. There's so much stuff happening at E3. We've seen all the press conferences once. We've seen all of the trailers once. But as with any E3, if you're familiar with E3s in the past, there's always stuff that comes out during the week that wasn't at the press conference. So we want to talk about all of the things that happened at the Microsoft press conference. And honestly, one of the reasons I wanted to hold out a little bit is because even though the press conferences have already happened, I think Sony's going to do something this week.
Probably won't do E3, but maybe
No.
something.
But yeah, but that's what I'm saying.
Exactly
They're
what
not
you're
going to
saying,
be at E3. But I have this inkling, like this feeling in my soul.
So they're going to just drop a bombshell.
Yeah, that something's coming, right? Because we know about Project Scarlet, right? And
Project Charlie, yeah.
Xbox Cloud X, and there's so much that Xbox did. I don't know how Sony doesn't rebuttal. So I just want to hold off a couple of days before we go full blown on the full E3 podcast. So expect that on Friday.
And I'm thinking it might actually be longer than our regular episode. So
Oh, absolutely. That's probably going to be a long episode. Yeah, that's probably going to be pushing like 2 hours, 2.5 hours. There's just so much content.
There's so much content, and we're going to be talking a lot. Normally,
And I
we
wanna
have like
hit-
5 topics.
Yeah.
It's going to be like over 10.
Each press conference.
Exactly.
That's the thing. So we've got to talk about what? The Microsoft press conference, because it wasn't just Xbox. Ubisoft, Bethesda, they had the PC conference.
We had Nintendo.
Square Enix. I'm missing one.
I can't remember their name. I was just thinking about it.
Man, we've got it all written down. My head hurts. We've been going through a lot of information. So again, that'll be coming out on Friday or Saturday. We're going to see, just because I want to hold out as long as I can for Sony. It's probably coming out on Friday, but if it's not on Friday, we can guarantee it'll be out on Saturday, 10 o'clock. Like all of our podcasts are always out on 10 o'clock.
Eastern time.
Yep. 10 a.m. Eastern, so 7 a.m. Pacific, and whatever else of the time you're in the world. I'm sorry, I don't math that well.
I don't matter that well, yes. We don't.
Yeah, so one of the things that I thought would be cool to just kind of fill time in this episode to kind of make this a little bit shorter of an episode, if you guys can't tell, the set's a little bit different.
Oh my gosh, it is.
Instead of setting up the whole set and everything like that, for those of you who may not know, the set's right up against this wall. So if you're watching the video,
On our right wall.
our right, your left, it's right here. This is the set wall that we use that has all of the pictures and everything like this. But what's behind us is actually our setups. This is our
Gaming setup, production setup.
yeah. These are our desks.
setup.
This is kind of where we get our work done. As you can see, our sides are kind of similar but kind of different. The main thing that you won't be able to see on my side is a second monitor. I'm disappointed. I'm
And
trying to get a second monitor.
right here, you know.
Yeah, it's just kind of here. Like I said, we'll do a more in-depth tour of the setup. But I
this
just
was
wanted
a little
to give you
preview, yeah.
yeah, it's just a different look of different things like that. You know, we'll give you a whole thing. I thought it'd be a cool change of pace since this is a different kind of episode. Since it's not a full episode.
It's just a little teaser episode.
Yeah, just something to get you through the week.
If E3 stuff could do it, we could do it too, right?
Absolutely. So, John came up with the idea. I didn't know. I just thought we were just going to do a quick 30 seconds. Hey, because E3, we're going to push back the episode just to kind of give an update. But John kind of came up with a really, really good idea and a really good question. So, do you want to introduce the topic or do you want to let me do it?
So as you guys know, the E3 conference was passing, so I was just watching it just like a few hours ago. Was it Ubisoft? No. Yeah. Well, it was one of them. I can't remember so much of them. I was
it was
watching.
Square Enix.
Square Enix. There we go. Square Enix. I was watching the Square Enix conference, and all of a sudden they revealed they're gonna make an Avengers game. Now I'm like, you know who would have been a great DC game? Superman.
So before we get into that, here's the question that I had posed, and his answer is Superman. I think completely different. I don't think Superman's the right answer. But the question was, Spider-Man, the PlayStation 4 game was incredible, right? And so if we were going to make a single superhero game, but the restriction is it has to be a DC superhero. So it can't be, like, we can't go and say we want an Iron Man game. We have to say, hey,
Captain America would be pretty cool.
I think Iron Man would be way cooler than Captain America. Captain America would be too linear. So
Yeah,
here's
you're right.
so here's the criteria that we had set up. Here are the rules that you have to meet for this game. 1, it has to be a DC superhero. 2, it has to be open world. And so, like in Spider-Man, where you can travel through all of New York and do the different things.
You don't even need to do the quest mission. You just
Yeah,
pull
you can,
around the
yeah,
entire
you can
time.
swing around. Has to be open world. And then last but not least, a game can't already exist for them that's like this.
So
Batman
Batman's
is
out.
Because the obvious answer here is Batman,
Of course.
right?
And that's why they have so many games of it.
Yeah, like Arkham Knight is the Spider-Man version of the DC. So I came up with that last rule to just make sure that we don't say Spider-Man. But I want you to
Batman.
say, I mean, yeah, Batman. I'm sorry, but I want you to say your points about Superman, and then I'm going to tell you why I disagree.
I'm thinking Superman because generally it's open. Like you can't get more open than that. You can fly in the sky, go up to space, and just like circle around the globe, like go into any like continent and stuff like that. How open could that get?
Okay,
I don't-
possibility.
I don't
Realistic.
That's realistically way too much.
Yeah, I'm talking about this has to be a feasible game.
But
Like if we're gonna
but-
pitch this to Activision, and the only reason I'm thinking Activision is because I was just playing Call of Duty, but it doesn't have to be Activision. Like if we're gonna pitch this to a producer of a game, like a game company, like EA. Oh God, no, we stay away from EA. We stay away from Activision. Probably. So like, let's say we go pitch this to Square Enix or Bethesda or one of those companies that I actually kind of trust that can kind of make a game that isn't going to be super money hungry. Like, what are we pitching? Has to be realistic. Has to be able to be made on current gen, not next gen. No, I'll say it. You can make it next gen.
a complete free like open world can't get like more free than Superman, who's unbound by any limits. He could just fly. He could have like those sonic movements that could like just burst through space.
So here's my argument with that,
Go ahead.
right? I think that's a great idea, but I think you get limited because Superman is so
Morality.
overpowered. Not just morality. You can have a good guy and just be a good guy, like in Spider-Man. You're never given this option to be like the bad guy.
Oh yeah.
In Batman,
you're
you're
right.
never given this option to really be the bad guy. You're always the good guy. Now in Batman, you're doing it in a very dark way.
Yeah.
But the thing with Superman is he's so overpowered. My question is, how do you make a game that can actually challenge you in that? You get what I'm saying? Spider-Man is great because, okay, yeah, he does have like, I wouldn't call it super strength. I would call it just like extra strength.
He's superpowered human, but he's still human.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying, right? Like, bullets can still hurt him and things like that. So it's like he's not overpowered. So you have to take
Well,
these
you
risks.
can make like a kind of like a storyline where he's exposed to kryptonite and his power is fading.
Okay, but that still doesn't give us. But then now you get rid of that whole open world thing that you just came up with an idea. He can't go to space because then the answer is
Yeah, that's why he couldn't go to space because his power is fading.
But then
Thus
the answer is
limiting-
just wait till daytime. The sun rejuvenates his powers.
yes.
You know what I'm saying? So, like, my concern with that is what do you do for side quests? You get what I'm saying? In Batman Arkham Knight, one of the great things that it had was that there were just these bad guys that were around. And there were just like these crimes that were happening that you could stop.
And like in Spider-Man, as you're like web swinging around the street, there are like crimes happening in the city.
Yeah,
in the
that like
streets.
you can just stop. And that's the thing that I think is great That's what makes those games great, is that randomness to it. So that's why I think the right answer for if DC was to make an open
You
world
better not say
game,
Green Lantern.
it's the Flash.
Oh.
I think the Flash is the perfect one. You can still do open world in a major city, right?
You can vibrate through the buildings. That's
Well,
fine.
I don't think you add that into a feature, but like what
You go run through the like.
that's what I'm saying. You can run up the building, so you can still go up and down. You can traverse the map very, very quickly because, well, he's the Flash. You're not limited by any space or anything like that. No wall. Like if you put a river in the city, he can run across the river. Like there are different things that you can do there, but you still run into the fact that he is still human, and so you can have regular crimes happening that his super speed, like if you don't go, like I believe the Flash is the most overpowered DC superhero.
Behind
No,
Superman.
I take it back. No, he is the most overpowered superhero ever.
Because he could access the Speed Force and travel in time.
Not just that, like you can't touch him. Like okay, if the Superman can't keep up with him, they've raced, but like this is before the Flash hits his like full speed. Like he can run so fast he can turn back the world, right? He can run through time. He can vibrate through solid objects. So if Superman throws a punch, all he has to do is start vibrating on a molecular level and nothing will happen. Like the punch will just go through him. And then if he wants, he can, like the Flash is the superhero that you be scared that goes
Against
if he goes to
Superman.
the bad guy.
Yeah, but physically, like, he can't really hurt Superman.
Yeah, he can. Dude, you're talking about okay, a lot of a little is still a lot. You're talking about, in the matter of a couple of seconds, millions of hits coming at supersonic speed. The force is amplified. He can do damage to Superman. If they're in a fight to the death where they're not holding anything back,
I think we're a little digressing, but
it doesn't matter. Who cares? Let's digress. Like if it fills time, it fills time. But you get what I'm saying.
yeah.
I think a Flash game would open up the possibility of having these regular world events that can happen. And then the thing too is because he's a cop, you can now do Barry Allen missions as well because
Barry
he's a
Allen.
forensic scientist,
Yes,
right?
that'd be nice.
So
Barry
now
Allen
you're not
and the Flash. mission.
exactly. So you're not just playing as the Flash. You also can have campaign missions as Barry Allen. Where as Superman, I don't know really how you can justify side missions as Clark Kent.
Well,
being
there
a
were
reporter.
side missions as Peter Parker.
That's different.
where-
He's a photographer.
Yeah, you could do the same concept with Peter Parker.
Clark Kent.
Clark Kent.
But
Kent,
with
yes.
what? He's a reporter. What, you're gonna go look at a government proceeding and then you have to type out the article? Like that's my thing.
A mini game. Type out the article in 30 seconds. Go.
Yeah, like you've got a deadline. You've got to get this article out. Like that's my thing. I think if you're talking on a grand scale, I think Superman becomes really cool in a bigger Justice League type game where you're talking about him being able to travel to
just in
different
Metropolis?
Yeah, and it's not just in Metropolis, where it's greater Metropolis, like greater Earth, I'm sorry. So you can go to Coast City and you can go to Central City and you can go to Gotham and you can go to his what's his layer of solitude? What's his thing called in the Arctic?
Fortress of Solitude.
The fortress, where you can go to the Fortress of Solitude, where you can go into space, where you can go. What's the Justice League thing called again?
The tower?
The tower in space. Yeah, where you can go to the tower. That is more interesting. But now you're talking about a greater Justice League game, right?
Yes.
Because then you can start introducing other people's villains that can actually give you something to do. But then I think that becomes too linear. Because if you go to Gotham, you got to fight Bane, right? In Metropolis, you have Killer Croc. In Metropolis, you have Lex, you can have Bizarro, you can have Brainiac, you can have these different things that happen, but then it just becomes a really linear progression, and that's my fear. with a Superman game. I think it could be done really, really well.
If like you got the right content creators brainstorming
It's
ideas.
not even content creators. It's the right writers. That's like
that's what I meant, but
no. But you get what I'm saying. Like,
Yeah.
you have to be able to come up with. You need to stop doing that with your nose. If you're gonna do that, you need to do that somewhere else. The mic is picking that up, and you're annoying everybody. You have to be able to like create content outside of the main story when it comes to an open world game. You know what I'm saying? That's the biggest concern there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like that's my thing. Is it has to be that outside of the norm. You know, like I don't know. In Arkham Knight, which I think is the standard when it comes to those kinds of games, Spider-Man was great, but I think Arkham Knight is the standard when you look at an open world superhero game. You have to be kind of safe because you've got guys with guns, you've got guys with extra armor, and Batman has all this tech, but he's still human. So he can't just go in, busting through a wall, let everyone shoot their bullets, wait till they're tired off from punching him, and then be like, all right, you guys good? Can I beat you now? And then smash all their heads in. Like,
with his pinkies.
yeah, like the fact that Superman, like how does anyone compete with Superman at that point? Like, how do you decide, hey, I'm going to be a villain?
I got a group of kryptonite wearing vests.
But it's just like, okay, so he goes a couple miles away and then uses his laser vision to snipe the vest off of you. Like what can you actually do?
You never actually see Superman doing that, do you?
Well, you never see Superman do a lot of things. Like Superman can do so much. Like if he wanted to, Superman like
he goes to the core of the earth and just
yeah, like there's so much. Like the only two people in the DC universe that can beat Superman, in my opinion, are Batman
and Flash.
and the Flash. This is the thing. That's why I think Brightburn was so interesting, right? As we finally see something in that kind of sense. But like, dude, how like if he just got a little bit more of an edge, Superman did, just a little bit more of an edge, he could just like
but
crime
the fans
would
hate
stop.
that. Like the loyal Superman fans.
Well, no, you can't give him an edge. If you give him like just like a little bit of a jagged edge, he becomes way too overpowered. If he cares as much for human life of bad guys as Batman does, you get what I'm saying? Like Batman is in that mentality of, I'm not gonna kill you, but I don't have to save you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If Superman's not like that. Superman's, I'm not gonna kill you, and I'm going to save you because justice and because
truth and honor
and because Boy Scout and
American
because
dream.
America. Like, dude, you're not even from Earth. Why did you pick America?
Why are you so patriotic?
Yeah. Like red, white, and blue? You're not even from this country. You're not even from this planet, whatever. But you get what I'm saying. I think that's my concern with the... I'd love to see a single-player story-only Superman game where it's not open world. I would love to see what that could look like.
I just feel like they need to get the right writers on it.
If they get the right writers, but I think that can be said about anything. I think if you go, if you get the right writers, you can say that about anything.
Yeah, exactly.
You can say, if you
the
get
Green
the right...
Lantern movie could have been great if you had the right writers.
Yeah, absolutely. Like the Green Lantern, like could have been fantastic, but you just didn't choose the right guys. In the same way that, like, man, I can't think of anything else in my head.
We know that, right?
Brightburn could have been fantastic if you just changed the writers up a little bit. Brightburn was okay.
It was a good movie, but
you literally just ripped off Superman. That's what happened. You literally just ripped off Superman. But again...
But that was the point of it.
Yeah, I guess. And then you got all those teasers of, like, Wonder Woman and Aquaman at the end and stuff like that. So that's...
I want to watch the Batman one.
I don't think
a dark Batman? Well, he's already dark, so would it go light?
No, well, we have that. Thomas Wayne.
Thomas Wayne. Oh, they should make a Thomas Wayne movie.
They have, haven't they?
No, they made the Flashpoint movie where it features Thomas Wayne.
No, but didn't they do a movie in that universe?
A movie?
Yeah.
No, I don't think so.
I'm pretty sure they did a movie in that universe.
I'm pretty sure there wasn't.
Pretty sure there was. We can go back and forth. I'm pretty sure there was.
I'm pretty sure there wasn't.
I'm almost positive.
What is the plot then?
What do you mean? I don't remember. I don't remember the plot for Flashpoint. And I watched it. We have that movie. I have the comic book. I don't remember the plot for Hush, and it's my favorite. I'm so excited for that to come out. But ultimately, I think Flash is the right superhero for a new video game.
As long as it's not Green Lantern.
Green Lantern would be another good one.
Hawk Man.
Or Hawk Lady, Girl, whatever they're called. The
Hawk
the
Girl.
Hawk people.
Wonder Woman could be also pretty interesting.
Wonder Woman could be interesting. She can fly, technically,
Yeah,
right?
she could technically fly. I
That's
don't know
an
why. I
interesting
don't know
one.
why she has an invisible aircraft.
Because people were writing this stuff in the 60s, and they could just do whatever they wanted. Wait, no, it
It's
was
like
earlier than that.
Wonder Woman could fly, so let's give her an invisible jet. It's like, why? Because we can. Right?
You're not wrong. I'm not gonna argue with you. Like,
I just find it like completely stupid.
I'm not gonna sit here and argue with the idea.
I think they just slowly phased it out. I don't know if she still has one or not.
Yeah, not in the cinematic universe.
In the cinematic, no. They're smart enough not to put it there.
Oh please,
It's
please.
Like, and look at there, Wonder Woman sitting down while flying. Why?
Since we're on this topic, I didn't plan to talk about this like at all, but I'm gonna bring it up. Did you know?
No, I did not know.
Is it James Gunn or David Gunn? Which is the guy who did the Guardians of the Galaxy? The James Gunn?
It sounds strange. That sounds right.
The guy who directed the first two Guardians of the Galaxies has confirmed and signed a contract with DC that he's going to stick around and become the Kevin Feige for DC, and he's going to help reshape and rebrand the DC cinematic universe moving
Hopefully,
forward.
it comes out really well.
Yeah, with the new addition of Robert Pattinson as Batman and everything like that. He's not going to be directing and writing per se, but he's going to come up with the ultimate vision and the ultimate like end game and the ultimate plan that they're going to follow.
Because
I
right
think,
now, I kind of enjoy how Barry Allen is right now. I don't enjoy Cyborg that much.
I don't like Barry.
I enjoyed it. He was very funny in the Justice League movie.
I agree, but he's an idiot. And that's not Barry Allen. Barry Allen's as smart as they come. That's my beef.
Yeah, I understand where you're getting. Yeah, I know he was making the experiment. His experiment went wrong and caused him to get the power and shit.
No, he was just in the forensic. Like the whole thing is he was just working late one day in his forensic.
I thought he was doing an experiment.
No, he was just working late one day during a thunderstorm in his forensics lab, and then lightning hit and everything hit him, and then he just became the Flash. Like that's it. Wasn't like an experiment. He's not Frankenstein.
Oh, I can't recall.
Yeah, he's not Frankenstein. It was just a thunderstorm that happened to happen, and he got hit with lightning. Oh, fun fact. The Speed Force technically doesn't exist until that moment. Did you know that? Speed Force gets created when Barry Allen becomes the Flash.
But isn't there a person that accesses Speed Force before him, Flash Gordon?
It's not Flash Gordon. I know what you're talking about. Technically, yes, but in the timeline, he's the first Flash.
All right.
Because what happens is,
How Gordon? What is
Yep.
his name?
I don't know. He wears the metal hat.
Yeah, the metal hat with the Hermes hat.
Yep, exactly. But the thing is the Speed Force gets created when Barry Allen becomes the Flash, and then it ripples out through time, and then he can access it in the past.
This is killing me.
I don't care.
I'll go through
Wally
it later.
West, Barry Allen. Oh, whatever. There's so many Flashes at this point. You've got Bartholomew. You got Bart Allen. You've got Wally's kids, I think. One of them becomes Impulse. Whatever, doesn't matter. So yeah, I think we end it there.
Yeah.
I think we talked long enough and did enough stuff
Yeah, we rambled a bit. Yeah.
about other stuff. Hey, like we said, we're gonna have a E3 episode dedicated to E3. Lots of gaming news coming up. Lots of stuff coming up. Expect a long episode. I would say it might take you a couple days to listen through that whole episode.
Just spread it out.
Yeah.
Enjoy it nice and smooth like E3.
Next, we should actually look at, depending on how the channel goes and how the listener number goes and everything like that, we should try to get press passes for next year's E3.
Oh, that'd be fun.
Yeah. Like, obviously, we'll still have to pay for it, right? and go out. But I think, how cool would it be to go to E3 and be able to see all that stuff and be able to report it in person? It'd be interesting. Make
a daily episode. Yeah, that'd be nice.
Not even just a daily episode, but just to have like this super long form kind of docu-vlog of our experience there. That'd be pretty badass.
I'll enjoy it.
I'm not saying no to it. Let us know if there's anything particular on E3 that you want us to talk about. If there's any topics that you had in mind, or anything at all when it comes to E3 or launches and things that have come out throughout E3, and we can go over it. All right, I got nothing else.
This is John.
This is Tigo, and
feel free to comment who you think will be a great superhero for a game on the comments.
Yeah, do that. That's a great idea. Comment in the comment section below, or message us on Twitter, comment on Instagram, message us on Facebook, chat with us on Discord. You'll see the Ender video with all of the different places that you can talk to us. Message us on one of those things, and let us know who you think would be the perfect fit for a DC open world superhero game.
Following the rules that we said previously that I cannot recall.
Those rules are, has to be open world.
You can't recall either.
Has to be open world.
Can I be already created?
Yeah, can't be Batman. And there was another one that I can't remember. Man, I had written this stuff down. We're the worst. You know what? My name's Tigo.
My name's John.
And we're out. Hey guys, this is Tigo with Level 1 Sidekicks. We really appreciate you taking the time to listen to the podcast today. If you want to stay connected with us, follow us on Twitter and Instagram, like us on Facebook, or hop into the Discord channel to chat. We'd also really appreciate it if you subscribe to the Patreon page. It helps us out a ton, helps us get some really cool, new, exciting things going for the podcast. Other than that, we hope you have a great one.